The Ardagh sits in the centre of Horfield Common, which is a large green space and public park that sits across 3 different wards in North Bristol. It sits across the ward boundaries of Bishopston and Ashley Down, Henlees and Horfield, and has the entire of Manor Farm estate within a mile of the site, although it sits on the opposite side of the ward boundary with Horfield. This is the Ardagh. This bottom gate was closed for nearly 20 years. It wasn't accessible to people, and it was experienced as a place that wasn't really publicly available. Since we took over the lease, we've taken on a tree trail, or we've developed a tree trail, which people have loved. These are sports courts that have not been in a good state for a long time, and we've been working with a variety of partners, including Playful Bristol, sports sector bodies, people with netball, people interested in all sorts of stuff around dance, around choir, around roller derby. They were used in all sorts of ways during the pandemic. These are the wider gardens. It's just opening out into the main site. Volunteer gardeners have been working on these gardens since we took over the lease in 2019. To bring them back into full use and to turn the site back into somewhere that is an oasis for people. So this is the gardening groups area, and it's also where we have the food bank that runs once a week. So on a Tuesday, Family Food Action are here, and they're collecting food that's donated by local people, and then it's distributed to partners across the city, including Lockley's Playground, so the Vench, St Paul's Learning Centre, and a partner down in Old Market. The group's working currently on a food club for Manor Farm area, which is very local to us, and working with the school and local councillors to develop that provision as well. It could bluntly grow. If we could find space for 3 or 4 times the size of this, the demand in the city, as we all know, is huge, and we're able to help respond to that issue of food poverty by really doing something very pragmatic. We use the funding that's created through other activities. So we run events, we run the cafe, which is open daily. We're developing a community plant nursery that's being led by volunteers, some of whom have learning disabilities, who are really keen to find meaningful work in an area and in a context, I think, where employment for disabled people is really challenging. So we're working on a range of different agendas to try and support all sorts of people in need that's existing but also emerging locally.